needed to abort late in that second stage burn. You'll hear these different calls throughout the flight uphill, along with key performance callouts from the guidance, navigation, and control officers, and also the propulsion lead. So we're closing in on T-minus now 7 minutes, and we continue to keep an eye on the weather.
One of the next callouts we're listening for is that stage 1 engine chill has started. That's coming up in just a few seconds. And that is a key process that prepares the engines for flight.
Engine chill has started.
Right on time. Right now, propellant in the tanks is isolated from the engines, but we'll open the engine pre-valves and start trickling some liquid oxygen through the Merlin engine pumps, chilling the engines for the start sequence. We do this because the super chilled and densified liquid oxygen is really, really cold, and we use this process to bring the engine hardware down to a cooler temperature before flowing all of the LOX and propellant into it during flight. At liftoff, Falcon 9 is consuming 700 gallons of fuel per second, so engine chill helps us to prevent thermal shock and ensures nominal engine performance. Shortly after, we should also hear the call out for stage 1 RP1.
Fuel load complete.
Right on time.
So now that engine chill is underway, we're looking ahead to the call out that RP1 load is complete, which just occurred a moment ago. And again, prevents that thermal shock. You got to stretch before you can start running. And RP1 is densified kerosene or rocket fuel that will propel the crew into orbit. And all of that RP1 is now about to be fully loaded into the rocket, since we're previously heard that the second stage is completed, or about to be completed here in just a couple moments. And then while we're still loading liquid oxygen on that first stage and second stages. This is the oxidizer that is needed to combine with the densified kerosene that just finished up loading. The RP1 liquid propellant needs an oxidizer to combine with everything in order to ignite. Coming up at the 5-minute mark, we'll hear the call for Dragon to configure for terminal count and then transition over into internal power. And that should be happening in about a little less than 30 seconds from now as we continue to close in on that T-0 mark.
So next up in the countdown, the transporter erector, or TE, will begin to retract from Falcon 9. That is the large truss structure you see there standing next to the rocket. It's hinged at the base and connected to the launch mount beneath the first stage. First, the clamps around the second stage will begin to
Falcon
open.
9 tanks are pressing for strong back retract.
And we're hearing good callouts.
Dragon is in, configured for terminal count.
And we're continuing to hear great callouts over the nets. Then the TE will begin to pivot back, slowly swinging away from the rocket, and it will reach full recline in just about a minute.
Strong back retract has started.
And we are just beginning that strong back retraction process. It's called the strong back. It's also called the TE, or transporter erector. Same structure, different name. The TE does a lot more than just lean. It rolls Falcon 9 out to the pad, raises it vertical, and stays connected through the final seconds. It provides fuel, power, telemetry, and command connections between ground systems and the rocket. Those clamps at the top help stabilize the second stage during fueling, and they also help prevent movement in high winds. And once they open, which you can see on your screen, they are slowly pulling away. And once they open fully, the rocket is fully free at the top.
Propellant continues to be loaded late here in the countdown as we're approaching 3 minutes and 30 seconds. We're continuing to keep an eye on the weather, and that's going to be the biggest thing as everything continues to march towards that liftoff timeline. But you can see there the strong back starting to move ever so slowly away from the rocket. The clamp arms are open, and you also see those white clouds starting to billow off the rocket itself. Those are perfectly normal as it's the coolness of the propellant on board is mixing with that warm Florida air, and that's what causes that boil off, and that you heard Nick talk about it earlier when you have that steam come off the rocket, so it looks like a lot of clouds billowing off it as well. But approaching the T-minus 3-minute mark, and that's when
Stage 1 LOX load complete.
And that's what I was about to say, is that you're going to hear that liquid oxygen load be complete. So everything is primed and pretty much ready to go. And you'll see, again, those white clouds of vapor and a great view of the entire rocket as we continue to build closer to launch. And, of course, liquid oxygen, super chilled.
Dragon
so a little bit
terminal count and on internal power.
Boils off in that warm Florida air. And now, load complete. We're on internal power. And we're also going to hear gas closeouts are going to start to begin as well. And then everything will get vented overboard through the umbilicals and strong back. You may hear some of that venting noise come in soon.
So LOX is still loading for approximately another 20 seconds on stage 2. And once that is complete, we'll vent down the TE, which will produce a white cloud off the side of the rocket, which is normal and expected, just as Joseph had mentioned. And once LOX load is fully complete, that will mean that there are 1 million pounds of propellant loaded onto Falcon 9, which will be RP1 and liquid oxygen. So that call out coming up.
Stage 2 LOX load complete.
Right there.
So we just heard that confirmation of stage 2 liquid oxygen now complete, as we are now 1 minute and 50 seconds away from launch. We'll also hear that the gas closeouts have started, so we can expect
Dragon
loud
is
venting.
in auto idle.
You heard the call for auto idle. That puts the rocket in a state that the flight computers understand before it takes over, making sure that transition to the final countdown is smooth and that all flight computers on board are in sync
Ground gas
and configured.
closeouts. Expect loud venting.
Configured for launch, and there's the closeouts we've been talking about and the venting that will be shortly followed. One minute and 10 seconds to liftoff of NASA SpaceX Crew-11.
FTS is armed. Falcon 9 is in startup and is now controlling.
Dragon is in countdown.
Flight computers switching to countdown mode now.
Dragon, SpaceX, go for launch.
SpaceX, Dragon, go for launch.
Seconds. Seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Ignition's full power and liftoff. Go Falcon, go NASA, go Crew-11.
Together we rise as NASA SpaceX Crew-11 heads up to the International Space Station.
Vehicles pitching down range.
1.7 million pounds of
Stage 1
thrust.
propulsion is nominal.
Propelling Falcon 9 as the vehicle pitching down range and making its way up the East Coast, and will soon join Expedition 73 aboard the orbiting laboratory. So far, getting good callouts on that first stage performance.
We are now T plus 35 seconds into the Crew-11 mission on board Dragon and Falcon 9. The Falcon 9 engines
Stage 1 throttle down.
are throttling down to help
Power and telemetry are nominal.
pass through the period of max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle during ascent.
Max Q.
We just had max Q right there.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
1 minute, 9 seconds into what is a little bit more
Stage
less
1
than
throttle up.
a 9-minute flight uphill as Dragon continuing.
Stage 1, Bravo.
Copy. 1 Bravo.
And that 1 Bravo, again, that's the abort zone, that last abort zone for stage 1 if necessary. The crew already pulling over 2 Gs. The next, we're going to have a couple of events
Dragon, SpaceX, nominal trajectory.
Dragon copies.
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 Stage 2 FTS has saved.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
Shannon.
Copy, Shannon. Seco. Dragon, SpaceX, nominal orbit insertion.
Dragon copies.
Launch escape system disarmed.
Dragon separation confirmed.
Dragon, Chief Engineer on Dragon to ground. Xena, Mike, Kimya, Oleg, welcome to orbit. On behalf of the entire Falcon team, we thank you for flying with Falcon today and wish you a great mission. Dragon will take you from here. Over to Launch Director for a few words.
On behalf of the launch team, it's been an absolute honor working with you towards launch today. We wish you well on the rest of your mission, and we will be awaiting your safe return. Godspeed Endeavour, Godspeed Crew-11, and thanks for flying SpaceX.